I wanted to show you my investigation into the song Here, There and Everywhere by the Beatles from the album Revolver. It's a very, very interesting song because it uses two keys, goes from a major key to a minor key in the bridge, borrows chords and uses secondary dominant chords as well to enhance the song from being maybe a very boring song to a beautiful song. Also, it uses, in the G major scale, it uses all the 7 notes of the scale as chords, so you can see how they all sound together. So it's quite unusual, especially to have the 7th chord and the major scale, the minor 7 flat 5, used in a song, and it's used here very nicely. So the song goes like this. The first part is so we go G, that's B minor, B flat major, A minor, C 7th, sorry D 7th, and then the song starts. So I'm just going to put this into the G major key. So I've got G in this window here. So we see that we're starting off with G major. And the next chord here is B minor. That's a B minor, so he's using that one, so it's 1, 2. And the next one is not in the G major scale, so he borrows that one from the G minor scale. So I'll show you how that works. So the G's in the major scale, the Ionian, the orange window there, and the E is the relative minor. So I'm going to put the G, what he's done is gone to the G minor scale. Yeah. And there available is the B flat major. And then he goes back to the G major scale for the A minor chord. And then we have the D 7th chord here. So apart from the B flat, that B flat, because it's only one chord, is a borrowed chord. So it's not considered that changes from G major to G minor. It's using a borrowed chord. So it goes. Back to G again. So that's the first thing, borrowing from the minor chord of the same note. So it's G major chord, G major scale, and borrowing chords from the G minor scale. So you can see you can do that easily with a mode decoder, because you just put, say in this case G, see all the chords that are available, and then put G in the minor scale. Some of those will be the same, but there will also be others like B flat and I think E flat that would be available to you to borrow. So back to G again. And the main song then goes. So you can hear, I'll go through those chords and you'll see how they are all the main chords here. So we start off with a G, that's the 1 chord, and then it goes to A, which is your 2, and then B, which is the 3, and then C, which is the 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just going 4 steps up. The next one would be a D. Then we have E minor. And then we have F sharp, minor 7th, flat 5 diminished, and back to G again. But for the song he just uses the first 4. And then back to G. Same thing again, repeats it twice. And now we have, in the same key, that F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which is a horrible sounding chord, and it sounds horrible to play, but it's in fact incredibly easy. It's just 3, well, it's a bar and 2 fingers, like that. Some people have thought that he's at this point has substituted a F sharp and minor 7th. But actually, if you listen to the record, it is in fact the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 half diminished F sharp, which, like I said, is very rarely heard. But works really nicely in here. Now, the chord after this one is a B, but it's not a B minor. It's a secondary dominant. And that has been borrowed once again. From this time it's from, let me find out. Yeah, so that's from the E major scale. So I found out where the B has a secondary dominant, and that's in the E major scale. So just for that part, he's borrowed the secondary dominant. Now you're going to ask, well, how do I know that you set it to E and then that's the dominant? Well, there's a very easy way to think about this, and that is that for all these notes here, you can play a dominant 7th for those, which are basically borrowed from the other modes. It's quite a complicated way of finding out which one they are, but basically all you need to know is that you could play an A dominant 7th, a B dominant 7th, a D, E, and an F sharp dominant 7th, and G dominant 7th. The only one you can't play is this one, because it resolves. If that's the 5th chord, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's the 1 chord. It wouldn't, because it's an unresolved chord, that wouldn't sound nice. But basically, so all you need to know, the secondary dominance, you can place it in your song for any of those notes. And that's what he's done. He's picked the B for this one. Probably because it sounds nice to him. He could have picked the D, the A, but it naturally falls. And then the next chord is the E minor, and then the A, and then a variation of the A, which you can see there are variations, or this one has picked the minor 7th. Now you just lift one finger up, and then that's the D7th, I'm hoping that hasn't seemed too complicated. It is fairly complicated if you look at theory traditionally, but if you look at just all the notes that you're able to play just on this reading off, you'll see how they just naturally fall in. Also, I'm playing bar chords here, you know, for the most part, apart from the A minor, but I could play bar chords there as well, because it also, I don't know, seems to fit in your mind a little easier. And of course that D7 leads you back to the one chord, the G. And that's interesting, so don't forget that D7, because it's borrowed later on. Naturally makes you want to resolve back to the G. Now for the bridge, he does change modes because it's for longer than just a couple of chords, and he changes it to G minor or G Aeolian. So it's the same notes, but the minor version, which gives you all different sorts of chords. Now, so the first chord that he plays is back to the B flat, and then he goes to the G minor, and then to a C minor. So we've got B flat, G minor, C minor. But then he goes, and again, because we have this, the note in this purple window can be a seventh. It's a secondary dominant seventh. He uses the D here, so it goes. That twice. Now, because it's allowable in this G minor scale, because you can use any of those apart from that one, as a dominant seventh, the D dominant seventh is also the one that resolves back to the G major. So a dominant seventh can resolve to a major or to a minor of that chord. So it's a natural. When we hear that chord, we can shift right back into the G major, even though he's playing a G minor here. That's a G minor, C minor, that's a D7, back to a G major, we're back to our original chord. It's a lovely way that he's done to change the key, the mode, and just bring it back smoothly. Using, I mean, they use dominant sevens all the time for this sort of purpose in the Beatles. And then. So I'll play through it one more time so you can hear all those things. So I hope you enjoyed that.